Hello all you super geniuses out there. Welcome to another video lecture from Super Genius 99, and today we're going to talk about solving equations. Okay, so we have an equation already up there, so let's look at it. 10x plus 7 equals 4x plus 25. Okay, so what's the first thing you want to do when you solve an equation is you want to make sure that everything on the left-hand side and the right-hand side are simplified. So we ask ourselves, is there anything I can do to simplify the left-hand side? Okay, no. Is there anything I can do to simplify the right-hand side? Okay, in this case, no. So then the next step is what? Get all your variables on one side and then everything else on the other. And I usually like to put all my variables on the left-hand side. So let's do that. Okay. So on the right-hand side, on the left-hand side, we have a 10x, and then on the right-hand side, we have a 4x. So how do we properly bring over the 4x? We got four operations, right? Add, subtract, multiply, divide. 4 base 1. There's other operations out there. So how do we bring over this 4x? So add, subtract, multiply, divide. There's your hint. Okay, subtract. Subtract what? 4x. Okay, so subtract 4x from both sides. Okay, so you subtract 4x from both sides. Oops. So on the left-hand side, on the right-hand side, 4x goes away. Because 4x minus 4x is nada. And then on the left-hand side, what's 10x minus 4x? Okay, and then we bring everything down. So now we're down to 6x plus 7 equals 25. Notice all the x's are on the left-hand side. So next, put all the numbers on the right-hand side. So there's already 25 on the right-hand side. So how do you bring over that 7? What operation? Add, subtract, multiply, or divide. There's your hint. Yes, in this case, too, we're going to subtract. What number are we going to subtract? 7. Okay. So then so 7 minus 7 goes away, and then what's 25 minus 7? 18, yes. So 25 minus 7 is 18. So 7 minus 7 goes away. 25 minus 7, 18. Okay, now we're down to 6x equals 18. Okay, so then now, what do we need to do? We're not done yet because we need a single x. Okay, so we have 6x. So how do we just get an x by itself? Add, subtract, multiply, divide. Okay, divide, what are we going to divide by? Divide both sides by a 6, yes. Okay, so 6x divided by 6, that's just x. And what is 18 divided by 6? Yes, 3. So then our answer is x equals 3. Okay, let's look at another one. Okay, so here is 11 minus 3y is equal to 5y minus 5. Okay, so your first step is usually to simplify the left-hand sides or the right-hand sides independently. So if you look at just the left-hand side, right, there's nothing to simplify. Or if you just look at the right-hand side, there's nothing to simplify there. So our next step is pick a side, put all your variables on, and then put everything else on the other side. Okay, so once again, I like to put my variables on the left-hand side. So I'm going to move that 11 over here, I'm going to move the 11 to the right-hand side. So how do I properly move the 11 to the right-hand side? Add, subtract, multiply, or divide. Okay, in this case, we are going to subtract. Yes, we're going to subtract what? 11. And we can't just do it to one side. We have to do it to both sides. So, some students will do is they'll just do that and keep going. It's like, no, no, no. Do it to the left-hand side. You got to do it to the right-hand side. Okay, so positive 11 minus 11, that just cancels. That's 0. So it's negative 5 minus 11. Negative 5 minus 11 is how much? Right, negative 16. So we're down to negative 3y minus 5y. See, negative 3y equals negative 5y minus 16, okay? So we have successfully moved all the numbers to the right-hand side. So now let's move all the variables to the left-hand side. So how do you properly move a negative 5y from the right-hand side to the left-hand side? Add, subtract, multiply, divide. In this case, it'll be add, and what are you going to add? Yes, 5y. And you remember, I'm saying it 3 times. You add 5y to both sides. Add 5y to both sides of the equal sign. Not one side. Add 5y to both sides. Some of you might get tired of hearing that, but you add it to one side, get your problem wrong, and then you get upset. So add 5y to both sides. So negative 5y plus 5y, how much is that? Nada, right? Okay, so negative 3y plus 5y, how much is that? Okay, so negative 3y plus 5y is negative 2y. Okay, and then negative 2y equals negative 16. How do I get y by itself? Add, subtract, multiply, or divide. Sorry, I should have wrote that in black. Let me write that in black. Okay, did you figure it out? Yeah, you're going to divide. What are you going to divide by? Okay, what's wrong there? You don't divide by 2. You have to divide by what? Negative 2. See, some of y'all missed that. So make sure you divide by negative 2. Okay, so negative 2y divided by negative 2 is just y by itself. And then what is negative 16 divided by negative 2? Negative 16 divided by negative 2 is a positive 8. Okay, so your answer there is y equals 8. Let's look at another one. Okay, so on the board we have 3, in parentheses, x minus 2 equal to 5, parentheses, x minus 6. Okay, so your first step is simplify your left-hand side and your right-hand side independently. So is there anything I can do to simplify just the left-hand side? Yes, there is. I can do what? Distribute the 3. So when you distribute the 3, what do you get? Yes, 3x minus 6. 3 times x, 3x. And 3 times that 2 is 6. Just bring down that minus sign, 3x minus 6. Can we do anything to simplify the right-hand side? Yes, we can. We can do the same thing, distribute the 5. Okay, so 5 times x and 5 times 6. Five times x, 5x, 5 times 6. 30, just bring down your minus sign. Okay. So now, pick a side, put all your variables on. You know what side I like to put the variables on, the left-hand side. You can put it on the right-hand side if you want to. I'm putting it on the left. So how do I put all my variables on the left-hand side? I need to bring this 5x over. How do I bring the 5x over? Add, subtract, multiply, or divide. Subtract, what are you going to subtract? Yes, 5x. 5x minus 5x is nada. And 3x minus 5x is how much? Negative 2x, bring everything else down. Okay, so notice all the x's are on the left-hand side. There are no x's on the right-hand side. So we brought all the x's over. No x's on the right-hand side, right? You see any x's over here? No. Okay, why? Because we brought them all over to this side. Now we're going to make sure the numbers just by themselves, the digits that don't have a variable, we want to put those on the right-hand side. Okay, so how do you do that? Okay, so we need to move this minus 6 over. How do we properly move the minus 6 over? Do you just put a minus 6 on this side? Can we just do this? Of course not. That's incorrect. How do you properly move the minus 6 over? You got to use the opposite operation, right? So you have subtraction here. So what's the opposite of subtraction? Add. Okay, so you're going to add what? 6. Where? Both sides. Okay, so you're going to add 6 both sides. Okay, after you add 6 to both sides, what is 30 plus 6? Negative 30 plus 6. Negative 30 plus 6 is how much? Okay, negative 24. Okay, and then negative 6 plus 6 is nada. Okay, how do you get x by itself? Add, subtract, multiply, divide. Okay, divide. Why are we dividing? Because this is negative 2x times negative 2 times x. So what's the opposite of negative 2 times x? We got to do the opposite, so we got to divide. So we're going to divide both sides by how much? Just a 2? Is that good? Of course not. We have to divide both sides by a negative 2. Okay, you divide both sides by negative 2, what do you get? X equal to 12. Why? Because negative 24 divided by negative 2 is positive 12. Okay. So that concludes this video lecture for today, or for this session. Okay, thank you for watching, and you have a wonderful day.